Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin, and it's a crazy Friday. Please don't say, thank God it's Friday. Why do people say that? Every day counts, and you got to work your tail off to get to the American dream. It's not easy. Who told you it'd be easy? That's no fun. So guess what we got to do? So hello back to you too. All right, my name is Ray, last name is Reynolds. As we begin, we always start right on time at 11 o'clock. So the bottom line is this. My goal, my dream is to change lives. In other words, help people as much as I can with the knowledge God gave me, how I brought into 100,000 to millions to billions. So the ultimate goal is to help you. Thank you. So the most important thing is get out a tablet pen. Let's begin. And remember, can't take pictures, can't record, but take pictures. No, write it down. We got to get it here. You see, if you just understand how to do this as nature, it's easy. So we're going to ask you some questions. First of all, if I wrote you a check for $1 million, what are you going to do with it? I want you to think about it. If I wrote you a check for $1 million, what would you do with it? All right, don't think about I'm going to waste it or waste it away like you've done before. Now write down July 30th, 2021. Write it down. Ultimate goal is pretty simple. December 31st. You see, here's the thing about me. It's a timeline. If you start today, and between now and the end of the year, you can get through this. And I'm talking about getting to the $1 million dream. Doesn't matter if it's $100,000 or personal or corporate credit. We got to finance our way, and we want to write it off too. Now let's show you some things that I got to do. First of all, there's one of the front doors of one of the 6 mansions. That's Huntington Harbor, where I actually parked one of my 3 yachts. There's a building, all right, and a Lamborghini part of the collection. See, I like to make millionaires. If you're not looking to be a millionaire, you're probably kind of wasting your time and mine. I want to repackage everything you're going to do. I want to make sure you understand how to play the game. So let's think today. All right, I gave you that thought. What if I wrote you a check for $1 million? My first question would be what bank account you're going to put it in. What account will you put it in? Now, the second you make that decision is where you're stuck. I want you to remember, you have an SSN and we only have one. I'm going to refer to it as ducks, but then there's an SS 4 times as many as it needs. The ability to play the game. So understand today, personal account. If you put that $1 million check in a personal account, you only keep $375. The rest goes to the IRS. Now, I understand we want to pay our taxes, but we also don't want to be used and abused too. If we put that money in a corporation, under the tax ID, we're allowed to keep all the money and pay all the bills first. Then we pay tax if there's a leftover. After we set up and understand pension plans, annuities, profit sharing, medical, dental, life insurance policy, company cars, business trips, and so much more. You see, you have to realize the SS4 is the opportunity for your dream to win. But again, I got to get you to pay attention to this free overview webinar. We're going to be here for about 30 minutes, maybe 45 too. Listen to everything till the end, please. Winning the battle. You see, my clients, most of them listen, some don't. Here's Richard. He won Survivor the first show. He got a $1 million check. What I first told him to do is I want you to put it in the bank account. I want you to put a CD, a line of credit, put it back in the account. You see, when you reference it by 3 and times it by 5, it becomes $15 million. Okay? But he didn't want to do that. You see, the $15 million is borrowed money. Under the corporation or personal, it's not taxed. But I don't want to create debt under a person. I want to be at the corporation. You see, what would have happened is at the end of the year, the next year, the tax is due. All right? He would have paid the tax, no problem. But instead, he wasted it all away. And the federal government gave him 3.5 years in federal prison and 10 years on probation. You see, I'm sorry, but, it's just the truth. You probably had some money and you kind of wasted it away, too. Procrastination is the killer of a dream. You see, time, I don't control it, but neither do you. But let's understand something today, please. I don't control time, all right, because it doesn't, it's just what it is. But I do control what I do with the time God has given me. See, I can't waste a second of the day. You never know when it's over. I'm worth billions of dollars in 2009, but I got to die the next day after we took out the corporate yacht. What can I say? God's come back too. See, my life started in a taxi. on the way to Gardena Hospital. She didn't want me. She put me in a trash can. She threw me away. At 3, I had to steal and beg off the pier. All right? I got dropped off every morning at 6:30 in the morning at 3 years old to 9.5. Eating out of a trash can really pissed me off. Millions and billions, I got to do that too. See, for me, God gave me a brain with an IQ off the chart with total recall. You see, I can read a page at a time, write with both hands, and talk at the same time too. I knew there was a better way. So understand something today. Please pay attention. You see, the goal is pretty simple. I'm 7.5 years old, being used and abused. Nobody gave a damn. But every Wednesday night, those grown-ups had a poker game. They did say one thing one night. They said a corporation's a legal person. A corporation's a legal person? I wrote it down. I circled it 10 times. They told me it was weird. Probably true. You know what I did? You see, understand something. Corporation being a legal person, I'm thinking there's a blueprint, there's rules, there's tools, and an instruction manual. Unfortunately, there wasn't. I went to the library next to the Torrance Police Department the next day. And what did I do? Simple. I asked the lady, what does this mean? She said, here's a marker for you to read the book. Well, that's how she talked. What can I say? I read the book. All right? I'm 7.5 trying to get out of hell, but I learned to read at 2.5 years old. All right? So the bottom line is, what it said, corporation is a legal person, it told me nowhere. I went back, listen carefully, to that library almost every day, 7.5 to 9.5 years old. By that time, I was brave enough to send away a little money order. See, if you got a corporation today, you got to connect the dots. You got to give it life. You got to give it a blueprint. You see, I use the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You can be winning that battle today if you want to. Helping Hand Industry, look it up in Secretary of State, California. It was founded by a 9.5 years old kid, me. It went worldwide. 100,000 in the mail. I even got named in the movie Dave. By the time I was 14, between my donut chains and everything else what I invented, and the cleaning companies too, I brought in my first million. There's my first car right in front of you. It was a Quintos Lamborghini. See, I like the goodies. So I got to show you what I got to do, and I got to teach you how to do it too, but I like to do the work for you in the beginning. Is that okay? Because I believe you've all spent thousands on blah, blah, blah. It didn't work. So getting past go. I'll show you the Lamborghini collection, the Duffys, and the mansions too. I'll show you how I broke the world record of the highest kick in 1981. I just wanted to prove white men do jump and stupid people say we don't. I parked my race boat in my backyard. Where you park yours? Helicopter. Don't forget about the largest U-Dock in Huntington Harbor. All right, how about the yachts? How about the Ferraris too? Bottom line, I can show you what I did. I can show you what you need to do, and I'll do the work for you too. See, all I had is God and me. But the reality is I figured it out a long time ago. I created race rules. Can you write it down, please? So here's me. July 4th, 2009, we took out one of the yachts with a group of people. Sounds good. No problem. The next day, I'm dead. Can you imagine? Someone came on the yacht with the worst case of swine flu and pneumonia, and the next day, I'm in a coma, and I died at 5:41 on July 5th, 2009, 12 years ago. Bottom line is I got to hear my wife scream her head off after the doctor said he's not going to make it, he's going to die. I heard the one we trusted the most trick my wife to sign on POA that day. Power of attorney. He stole everything we had. The bottom line is I got to the other side. I was given a choice, stay in peace or go back. Bottom line is today, your lack of knowledge is why you bring the pain home. It's just the truth. The bottom line is you do it time after time again, and you never had to. Today, I want you to learn what needed to be known since you were 18. I want you to stay here with me for the next 30 minutes or so. Now, we got to talk about your credit. Why? You have to be a qualified CFO, Chief Financial Officer. That's just the truth. Here's the Federal Trade Commission. Credit repair is a scam, not allowed to collect money up front. It's a fraud. You see, your credit's not broken. All right? The bottom line is you have to rebuild it. It's just the truth. Now, I'm the guy that trained Ken Yarborough, security chief at TRW and Experian, all right, years ago. I'd like to train you just a little bit today, please. It's called the Credit Service Act. Can you write it down? I want you to Google it to get that page I just showed you to know the truth. All right, the bottom line is it'll tell you about the Credit Repair Organization Act too, where it says attorneys can't do credit repair. What are you supposed to do? Let me hold your hand. Let me make sure you build the relationship and the dreams too. You got the ability, understand. The Federal Trade Commission, that's their information. You can check it out too. Here's what happens with me. I always ask you for 90 days. Why? Because in 90 days, I'm going to get you in the direction to the $1 million dream. I'm going to offer you the work and rebuild you anyway. Every seminar, workshop, and boot camp, you're stuck with me. My ultimate goal is pretty simple. Okay, my goal is to hold your hand and give you the steps you've been missing. Is that okay? All right, the bottom line is up to you. There's 4 ways to get to $1 million status. Your choice is to win the lottery, inherit the money, or get a raise. 4th way is let me rebuild you. Let's build a relationship so we're stuck with each other for 90 days, please. Most of my clients choose for a lifetime, by the way, because I make millionaires all the time. Now, understand something. There's 1,000 rules, and you can't even screw it up, okay? So the goal is to hold your hand and give you the steps you've been missing. You got your tablet and pen? I pray that you do. First 25 steps today. Number 1, I want you to go to racecredit.com, clickety-clack, get your credit reports for free. Then I want you to give me the report numbers in the right-hand corner. So the ultimate goal, step number 1, get the reports ordered, give me the report numbers. Now, the bottom line is you have an SSN. Can you pull it out of your personal wallet right now, please? That's called a Social Security card. So let's pull it out. Let's read it front and back, okay? Remember, you got this to get a job. That's all we were told because we're a bunch of sheep. Bah, bah, bah. So it does say number 2. That's your step. It says do not laminate, do not use for ID purposes. But it also says property assessment administration, not you. It's not even your card. So here's what I want to do. Give me the report numbers, and I'll guarantee you in writing within 90 working days, your score will go up, up, and away. Now, no case ever goes past 180 days, period, unless you're messing up on you. That's step number 3. So understand something today. Report numbers. In my system that I developed years ago, I've been doing this for 43 years. That's why they call me the godfather of credit, by the way. I'm going to go after your creditors first because I'm going to show how the application was incorrect. All right, it's the fastest way to actually remove a negative anyway. Negotiation, I might tell you to go after a debtor to negotiate. Legal action method, kind of like when I sued Chase Bank years ago. I got him in Santa Ana court and I kicked their assets too, and the judge made them give me another $5,000 for wasting my time. You got more rights than you think you do. Remember something, I took a picture of Credit Karma. I'm the guy that came up with the concept of rapid scoring for your mortgage companies with Ken Yarbrough and Harold Stokes 37 years ago. Now, I came up with a system years ago too called Rapid Refresh. Now, what Rapid Refresh is, it does is it blocks. I'm allowed to literally go into your credit reports, in them, tear them apart. I'm allowed to recalculate your score and rip your credit reports apart. That means I can force the score to go up, up, and away, legitimately. Now, let's show you some worst cases. And I show every week, I update them all the time. They have 4 collection accounts, they're at 487. They got bad credit. They have no credit. But I got them an unsecured credit card to start them out as I'm rebuilding them. I'm always going to guarantee you credit in the beginning, middle, or end. Because I want to make sure you understand. I want you to reimburse yourself too. They start at 480. Last card is $3,000. I'm going to get them $250,000 for the corporation. This one's late on their car payment, 11 collection accounts, still $3,000 card right away. Do you understand? So I can rebuild anybody. So what I want to do is rebuild your credit. Now you can say your numbers there, but you don't have the history. I have $10 million of history on my dashboards. I'm an affiliate that I get to use to help build you up. I want to do a rapid refresh. Ultimate goal is pretty simple. Now the office sales are for $9.98, but I haven't had a paycheck since 26. All right, 26 years old. Okay, I don't need a paycheck. Okay, what I need to do is help you change your life. My wife says this is my hobby. It's probably true. So today you're going to get a discount because you're playing with me. It's a live webinar. So the bottom line is on Saturday, tomorrow. I have 8 classes tomorrow live. I broadcast up to 3 times a day, Monday through Friday. I don't like pre-recorded, sorry to say. So at 1 o'clock tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time, it's called Analyzation Education. And what happens is pretty simple. You can go, you don't have to go, it's up to you. Average case is what again? 90 working days. A couple cases might go 180 days, never pass that, unless you're messing up on you. Now, the thing that I'm always going to guarantee you, listen carefully, I want to make sure you get 1,000 to 10 times money you ever invest with me back in your pocket. So I'm going to guarantee you $1,000 cash card. You can even reimburse yourself. But here's the thing. On a live webinar, I always give it half price. So $499. You get the 1,000 card. You get a written back money back guarantee. You're going to get a 750 score and above. You see, I'm going to put it in writing. All right, I got a 100% success rate. The only thing that slows me down is usually you. Ultimate goal is simple. So the hackers are hacking credit cards and credit bureaus today, and they're hacking big companies and ransoming that. Now, one of the things about credit unions and banks, they're using something called Zelle right now. See, Zelle cannot be hacked. It's an instant transfer of funds, and nobody can get ripped off. So what I would tell you is go into your website, to your bank account, credit union, whatever, and sign up for what's called Zelle. All right, I'm the recipient. My name is Ray Reynolds, simple. You put my name there, and then what you do is you add an email address instead of a phone number, ray@rayscredit.com. You can Zelle $4.99 right away, so you get the discounted credit card and you're stuck with me. Kind of fun. Ultimate goal, the next thing I need you to do, starting today, all right, I need you to get off the national mailing list. You add yourself to that too. That's how you get all your junk mail. That's how you get half the robocalls too. Why don't you call 888-567-8688? Write it down. When you call it, opt out for 5 years. It gives you two options. See, that'll be step number 4. Bottom line is we got to stop that stuff because you're being sold on a national mailing list. Now, the next thing I need you to think about is this. Did somebody knock you down, get in your way, take it away from you too? Sorry to say it's probably a friend or a family member, by the way. Now, I need you to write down safety credit. Write it down. It's an example. Each one of these cards in my hand are $50,000 apiece. I can't write off personal credit, neither can you. And here's the problem. They're not telling you the truth. As I helped set up with Yarborough for TRW Spearn years ago too, remember something today. Get out your credit cards and I want you to put a sticky in the back. Write it down. It's an assignment for you. I want you to write down the limit. All right, 25%, 29%. What is that percentage? Remember something today, and listen very carefully, because you will not hear this anywhere on this planet but through me. When you take a credit card past 29%, you jacked up the card, you dropped your score, you got stuck, you can't get any more. You backed yourself in a corner. Do you not get this yet? We're going to learn the discipline. By the way, I'm sorry to say you've been using the wrong money in the first place. There's no reason you ever have to back yourself in a corner and hurt your family, bring the pain home. There's never a reason ever to do that. Okay, you just didn't know how to play. We're going to teach you that today. Line of defense in your city, Chase Bank, B of A, Wells Fargo, city grocery stores, they have bankrupt locations. Listen carefully. They bankrupt the location, they wrote off on their taxes, and on top of that, they got a tax credit. See, they're playing the game, but you're not. See, when you screw up, do you get a tax credit? No. Don't forget the sticky. I need you to write down, never bring the pain home again. I'm serious about that today. That's step number 5. Now, when you lose your job or have an emergency, what do you do? Unfortunately, everybody does the same silly thing. They run out of time, they run out of money, and they go jack up their credit 42 days. Then they're stuck. It's like the world is just trying on top of you. We don't have to do that, by the way. Now, I prove my point so many times. I pull off stunts all the time. When I built credit for my cat years ago, I wanted to prove the fact that cats have 9 lives, and as of today, so will you. You see, Inc. magazine right there, how to finance anything by using plastic. I'm all over that issue. Understand. Corporate credit, line of credit, you can write off the interest rate in the credit card and finance the business and write it all off. If a division messes up like a bank or a grocery store location, you get to bankrupt that too and write that off as well. In other words, you have everything to lose and you have everything to gain, nothing to lose. You can't really screw it up if you do it the right way. That's the bottom line. So let's understand today. Now, some of you, I don't want a corporation. Why don't you incorporate your life instead? Run your life through a corporation. You're allowed to. But we'll show you that as well. See, today, let's pretend today you need $5,000 now. You need it right away. Oh, what do? You ask your friends and your family in the bank, and they all say no. See, what happens next is simple. Let's understand. They say, and it might be true, that you waste $50 every other day. Is that true? Now, this is a 5,000 card in my hand like the one on the screen. If I have to max it out to solve a problem today, the payment is $50 a month. So what the average person wastes in a given day or every other day, they could have maintained what's called a safety credit card. So let's understand, we're not done. You see, you realize, they say, could be true, I don't know how much you waste per week, they say an average of $140. That's $600 a month. So let's think about these cards in my hand. If I max out one of them today, the payment is $612.26. So that tells me what the average person wastes in a good month. I could have gotten 2 pizza restaurants with a drive-through. So please stop wasting money. Never bring the pain home and quit using the wrong money. That's step number 6. So what do we get to do? First of all, we have to reach our goal. Write every goal you've ever had, please. This is where I like the challenging. Every Saturday I do a goal setting class starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. Lasts about 2 hours. And that's 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want you to believe in yourself. You see, for me, I believe in God and I believe in me. When I was kicking the door jam at 10, all right, kicking the basketball hoop basically in 81, all right, that's only 10 feet, was pretty easy for me. So the bottom line is, if someone tells you can't do this or that too, please don't listen to them. You see, the reality is, God gave you a gift and a dream. Why don't you see it, believe, and go get it? Now, let's go back to you and your SSN. You got an SSN to get a job. Okay, we were told to, so we were sheep. Bah, bah, bah. We got our paycheck. We thought it was going to be this big. But then all of a sudden it was this big. You know why? They got their cut before you got your paycheck. In other words, you worked for the company, you worked for the IRS too, and they got their cut before you got your leftover for you. Then they tax you till you're dead. And then they want you in probate too. See, we don't want to be ducks. But we got to look at the rules and the tools, what we're allowed to do. IRS public record. So, I don't want you to realize that you're a duck, because we're all ducks. Quack, 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 quack. But I want to show you the alternative you should have done a long time ago. Remember, we get one SSN, one chance to win. So we got to walk around like quack, 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 and everything gets screwed up. Everybody sits there going boo-hoo-hoo, and they back themselves in a corner. And some of you, we don't need to do that anymore. I've been doing this for 43 years. If you pay attention, you could have did this a long time ago too. So let's understand, we got an SSN because we're the collateral for the United States of America Incorporated. Ever since Nixon took the gold standard out. Now, I want you to write down raise rules again. Now, I want you to write down 100,000. Here's the problem. If I tell you I want to give you 100,000 of credit, you're going to go, no! I didn't tell you to use it and abuse it. See, what's sad, because you think, this or that, is when you can't feed your family, pay the car payment, the house, or the rent. When I had to steal out of a trash can when I was 3 to eat, all right, I swore I'd read every book I could to make sure I don't bring the pain home whenever I get married too. See, at Marina Del Rey, they got all that money. Torrance Rocks, Palos Verdes. I'm being dropped at Redondo Beach Pier every morning at 6:30 in the morning from 3 to 9 years old. So understand something. For me, 100,000 of credit at 29% usage gives me 71,000 of safety credit. In case blankets the fan, lost a job, or there's a pandemic that lasts about 18, 19 months. I want you to have the ability to feed your family up to 2 years if you have to. But when you take your personal money and credit and roll the dice for a business, I'm sorry. That's called stupidity. You're highly intelligent people. But you didn't know how to play. Never bring that pain where? Home. Please, write down race rules. We want to make sure you understand how to play the game. That's step number 7. Bottom line, every one of us. Now, I know we all have a sad story. I was a coma, 5.5 years old, told I'm never going to walk. God told me to get up, I got up. Reality is I've had that voice internally in my side since I was a baby. You see, I got to die there. H1N1 pandemic number 9, but I got a choice to come back and help you. Now, I'm from Show Me State. Okay, in other words, there's one of my 3 yachts, there's a race boat, there's the UDOC, Huntington Harbor, there's the address too. There I am actually dead. All right, they're asking my wife if I'm a donor. But I got a choice to go back, and I said go back. Luckily, I did it right away. So the goal is simple. All right, what did I have to do coming out of that coma? And I found out my life was stolen. Everything was gone. Me and my family were homeless. I walked around with an oxygen tank for 5 weeks. But I put my credit score back to an 820. All right, simple. All right, within 6 weeks, listen carefully. Within 6 weeks, I popped up to $1 million card. The bottom line is the question back to you. All right, there's 4 ways to get to the $1 million status. Simple. You can basically win the lottery. You can inherit the money or get a raise. When you got nothing, what are you supposed to do? If you allow me, I'll rebuild every one of you. That's what I've been doing for 43 years. See, I have 5 closet divisions. In other words, I have a backup and a backup and a backup too. So that means if a grocery store, the bank, the city, rich and famous people can do this too, so can you. It's your constitutional right. But again, I need you to learn how to play. We can fight through the pain and get that closet of vision, go again and again too. We're allowed to. There's no intent to do fraud. God's delays are never meant God's denials. You see, for me, I want to get the money because I've always been scared since I was a little boy. Going back to the pier, begging and stealing and eating out of a trash can. I'm sorry, I couldn't stand it. And when I got told to recall most things, I could close my eyes and smell that trash can to this day. So it haunts me. I don't want to go back to the pier. Money, I get to help you. We're getting older, slower. We're not as pretty as we used to be. Go back to the job you hate. It's okay. You know they're going to fire you eventually. And maybe you're going to deliver some pizza. But if I can teach you how to be the greatest entrepreneur and learn how to play, wouldn't that be better for you? Step number 8. You see, we got to look at the grocery stores and the banks and the Sam's Club. You see this, you hear it. I'm the kid and growing up that always tore it apart. I wonder how it worked. See, when Sam's Club closed 63 locations in California 2 years before the pandemic, I tore that apart. How? Why? So, they closed the locations, they bankrupted, wrote off on their taxes, and instead they got a tax credit. What did you get when you bring the pain home? They're using branch numbers, they're using tax IDs and subsidiaries. Bottom line is simple. What I set up since '86 is divisions and tax IDs. See, I want you to have fun. Now, when we get to the million, the divisions become subsidiaries, so we get to the 100 million, and we turn that into a billion, if you want to. That's step number 9. So, when the cities filed bankruptcy, you heard it, didn't you? Some cities, but I tore it apart. There's been 11 cities so far. Their first one was Orange County, and they blamed Robert Citron, which is not true. The United States of America Incorporated set up 50 states, corporations. The states set up their cities, corporations. See, this is the plan and the line of defense right in front of you. But you got to pay attention now. You can't let life just pass you by. Chapter 9 bankruptcy is what they invented for themselves in case blank hit the fan. They get to bankrupt the debts of a city and stay in business. You bring the pain home, you want to what? We have a bad day? No. That doesn't happen anymore. It's my watch. Understand. Apple Computer filed bankruptcy in '97. They were done out of business. Bill Gates indicted 4 times for being so smart with our government too. He wrote a check for $150 million. And Apple's worth trillions of dollars today. They did not have to keep bringing the pain home like you and me. Write bankruptcy down, please, on your tablet and pen. I want you to Google it today. It says SSN. We all have one. We're all ducks. We might as well go through the day going quack, 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 quack. But then it says SS4. Corporation, division, subsidiary. Want to get another chance? I didn't have to bring the pain home in the first place. That's what you got to learn how to play. Step number 10. So here's our life. SSN equals a 1040. We get a 1040. We get taxed till we're dead and probate. IRS public record. SS4 equals 1120. Line 10 right in front of you. It says banking and credit purposes. So it is set up to write off the interest rate, the credit card, line of credit for a business, and write everything off too. Division screws up, they get to write that off as well. So in other words, learning to play the game is learn how you can learn to play and not bring the pain home to you. Quack, quack, quack. You want to be a duck? You want to learn? I think we should do both. Because we have no choice. We're all ducks. So the bottom line is this. We get one chance with an SSN to try and win. Quack, 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 quack. But a SS4 gives you more chances to try and win. You see, as long as you're trying, you're not dying. That's the goal. Now, 7.5, this is what I learned. It's just flat out. It's the truth. It's not legal advice. It's chapter 18. I thought I was going to get a blueprint and rules and tools and all kinds of great stuff. It says a corporation is a legal person may sue or be sued. But I didn't get what I wanted, so I had to go back to that library almost every day till it was 9.5 and mail away that money because I didn't want to screw it up. I'm 9.5. Come on. Today, you will learn what you've needed to know since you were 18. Bottom line is this. Now, if you do the corporate thing, which you all should do, someone's going to ask you if you remember the Better Business Bureau. Now, if you want to be blackmailed and pay them $615, you can get an A rating too. See, the Better Business Bureau has been a fraud since day one. Now, I'm not making it up. You got 10 million companies who will not play their game and get the blackmail money. No matter if it's Wolfgang Puck, no matter if it's Walt Disney or KBC. From there, remember, they got indicted in 2013. They're a fraud. The federal government indicted them. They changed their name. They're still playing the game, and courts have shut their offices down too. So again, you got to understand the rules and the tools. So again, I'm not making it up. That's CNN in 2020, by the way. They tell the truth. Now, I got to incorporate a lot of rich and famous people. I did profit and nonprofit working in conjunction. I created a program for people coming out of prison. After 20 years, Ricky Ross comes out of prison. I rebuilt his credit, but I got him a gold and a platinum up to $1 million paid over time. You understand that? So the goal is pretty simple to do if you want to. Remember, my goal is to hold your hand and give you the steps you've been missing. 26 years, Thomas was in prison. Got out. He says, no one's treating me nice, Ray. What can you do for me? Well, let's see. All right, I built him up within 6 months, and he does a dump truck business over $2+ million last year, even during the pandemic. You're going to have to beat your doubt, run your race, all right, and understand something. This is step number 11. I got to make you the qualified, see if I'm going to do, even using my history for you too. Getting past go, not a problem. God's gift, simple. One of the mansions, look at this. The race boats, all right, and the yachts parked in the backyard, show me state, that's just the way it is, all right, and I want to make sure I give you the goals and the steps you're missing. Here's the helicopter, here's one of the buildings, one of the Lamborghinis too. You got the ability to change your life right away. Now, I was at the Bonaventure for 32 years, every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. I would sell my 1,000 steps and rules in what's called the Millionaire's Founders Kit. Because if you follow, you get up to $1 million, and that's it. It's simple. From there, I'd sell for $5,000. We sell it online that way too. The bottom line is winning the battle. Now, the office, they sell for about $1,000 when they sell packages. I always give it to you at half price of $4.99. I give it away so you get the books and CDs, and I pray you get to the classes with me too. Remember, I'm always going to say Zelle, so it cannot be hacked. It's an instant transfer of money, and we can ship products right away. Now, I'd like you to change your driver's license to a P.O. box or mailing address, please. Now, you can do what you want. You're a grown-up. But when you wrote a check the other day and you gave me your driver's license, did your house get robbed the next day? See, all the crazy stuff going on in the world, I want you to protect your ass. It's use race rules, never bring the pain home again. You might even want to check out the Driver's Privacy Protection Act too. You have the ability to do this. It's step number 12. Ultimate goal, the bottom line is this, divisions. When I created them in 86, it was pretty simple. Multiple functions. Disconnect, isolate, incorporate. Okay? Slip, fall, I want to separate my pieces. Every division, the way it was set up in 86, is allowed to get its own credit files legitimately so it can finance itself. Kind of like if you wanted up to $1 million for the corporation. But the difference is I'd ask you, would you like a card for every division? We'd call that a bucket of money. Then I'd say, would you like to put a piece of property in a division too? How about a franchise? So in other words, rich and famous people, grocers and banks do this every day, and the bottom line is you didn't learn how to play. If one of them got screwed up, would I not have 8 left to go? Would I not set up another one too? You see, you got the ability to understand buckets of money, tax balance, and become the bank. I wrote the books on those too. So remember today, I want to give you the steps you've been missing. Now, American Express allows 99 cards after every card. That could be $1 million to $100 million. So your goal is simple. All right? We can get corporate credit and write it all off as we grow a business. And you don't have to bring the pain where? Home. So let's understand your car today. When you bought your car, all right, what did you do? You let some dealership sweat you for hours on end. You lost $5,000. You got 9 inquiries too. Here's your mistake. When they gave you the piece of paper, said, we need you to fill it out so you can run your credit, this is when Ray's rules should have kicked in. When you signed it, next to your name, you should have wrote down this allows 1 inquiry only. You should have given permission. You're in control. And you should have taken a picture. But you didn't do that. So you allowed them to use and abuse you because you became a sheep. Bah, bah, bah. That's going to stop as of today. Step number 13. So if you did it my way, tax ID, division, or I understand something, it becomes a company car. Not only it doesn't show up on the personal credit report, it's a full write-off. When you try to use your cars for business, you got to justify everything you need to do. If you got a car and you got a repossession, the IRS is allowed to give you a 1099-C. You kind of screwed up again. You got to repackage the whole package. All right, it's like anything else. If you take that car to the grocery store or the bank today, I'm sorry. If you do a little bumpity bump, that person's going to call one of those nasty attorneys on TV. They all say they're number one, number one, number one. Bottom line is, I wonder if they're going number two. Understand, registered owner, for me, should have been a division. See, let's do everything we can to make sure at the end of the day they get diddly squat. Is that okay? I'd rather give diddly squat than have them sue me and take away my family too and all the assets. But that's step number 14. Now, to buy a car under tax ID and fleet price. That's what I want to teach you how to do. Okay, but again, maybe you don't want to. Every Saturday when I do the goal setting class at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I go through this step by step with everybody who shows up to the workshop with me. Ultimate goal, giving them what they've been missing. That's the goal. Kind of like when I had my 17 houses years ago. I couldn't get number 18. They told me the loan to value problem on my credit report. So what did I do? I transferred to the divisions. I freed up my credit report, no more loan to value problem, and I got separate liability. So understand, I don't know who's going to slip and fall and want to sue me too. Business is a game. You got to play to win. Now, your paycheck at the workshop is going to teach you how to break even. From there, remember, corporations are allowed to receive all the money. All the money. All right, understand, all the money. And then pay tax on the leftover. It doesn't matter if it's the first 10 billion for Amazon or the trillion. They pay no tax, but you do. That's on you because you don't want to come play. Now, don't tell me they don't pay tax. They pay property tax, gallon of gas like you and me too, and they even take their spaceships trying to go to the moon. You write that off too. So the ultimate goal is pretty simple. What they're going to do is what the Internal Revenue Service allows corporations to do. They don't pay tax till they make a profit. So the reality is you can complain or you can join the club. Which would you like to do? But again, who's going to teach you how to play? There's no one like me on the planet besides me, winning the battle. Now, borrowed money is not taxable. I don't want to create debt on a consumer. I want to do it to the corporation in case I screw it up. I want to play. So if I took a corporation and I took $50,000 off this card now, and I wanted to loan $10,000 to 5 people and help them save their house, I put a second trust deed on their house. I invented what's called a homestead blocker. You see, you want to chat a mortgage. So if they don't pay, I get their house too. But what did I do when I created cash flow free up your time 40 years ago? Remember, after I pay the bill, I have a leftover $2,449 a month. Now you can create $5,000, $10,000, as much as you want. Within 7 to 10 weeks, you can take corporate credit, turn it into cash flow free up your time, do what you want, free up that time, and go do it. But again, that's why I created cash flow free up your time years ago too. Now, Warren Buffett, I studied his father first. Leveraging. This man has never used his money to buy a business. He uses borrowed money, which is not taxable. He got his first 100 companies, and he has his favorite 10. Ketchup, Geico, Coca-Cola, American Express, Duracell, Dairy Queen, See's Candy, British Jewelry, and Fruit of the Loom. He's using borrowed money, all right, because it's not taxable and transferring some stock. No taxation. Would you like to learn how to play to do that too? There's no difference between you and Mr. Buffett. You just got to play. You can win too by going to the workshops with me. Now draw the 4 boxes in front of you. Corporation, here we write line of defense in 3 divisions. Debt follows SS4. We get more. We only get 1 SSN. We're all a bunch of ducks. So if something goes wrong with the division, we get rid of the bad piece. We get to the other pieces too. Now understand something. All right, I want to make sure you listen, write it down. The goal is within 90 days to master the rules and tools. Step number 15. Every Saturday for 43 years, I have stood there every Saturday or online helping people with the classes, answering their questions, holding their hand, making sure they know how to play the game. Because God gave it to me to give it to you. So again, tomorrow at 2:30, and that's tomorrow, I have a class for Dun& Bradstreet. Now, remember, Dun & Bradstreet is supply and vendor credit. In the beginning, we always went cash. I have classes during the week at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Personal credit asking me questions for 30 days. I have basically a corporate one asking questions on Tuesday. All right, leveraging become the bank on Wednesday. From there on Thursday. Again, how do we do the real estate under the divisions with no money down correctly too? Ultimate goal, you get stuck with me. Now, if all you want from me is a 750, okay, I'll respect that. I got to do a rapid rescore, block the garbage. I'm going to tear into those reports because I'm allowed to as an affiliate, and I'm going to push your score up while I'm rebuilding you. Office is $9.98. With me, I give you half price. I invite you to a class, Education Analyzation, on Saturday at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Or if you want to go, you go. In the average case is 90 days. Now, no case with me goes past 180 unless you're messing up on you. But you're always guaranteed a $1,000 or a card. All right, and I always give you half price because you're on the webinar with me. You're taking the time to listen and learn. So it's $4.99 if you Zelle it right away. Then you still get the $1,000 card. In other words, you double your money back. See, I want to take away excuses. You're guaranteed a 750 credit score. You Zelle, you take a picture of that page. I'm the recipient, ray@rayscredit.com instead of a phone number, and you Zelle it right away. It's all it takes. Now, remember, on Wednesday and Saturday, I do a class on set up a corporation in level 1. Set up the corp, what type, what's the difference, what state, what venue you want to pick, and then we go into level 1. That way I show you how to set up your divisions and to buy at wholesale price too. Bottom line is that's Wednesday and Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wednesday or Saturday, go to both. The bottom line is play with me for 30 days on that too. The goal is to learn how to play. Ultimate goal is pretty simple. So what are we going to do? If you have a corp, I'll build the one you got. If you don't, how about the starter package? All right, rebuild the credit, rapid rescore, make it the CFO you need to be. Articles also as tax ID, set up in level 1 for 30 days. That way it happens. Now, what I always do is give you $10,000 of cash credit because the office sells it for about $2,000. All right, the difference with me on a webinar, I give you half price on things that I do. Instead of $2,000, it's $999 if you Zelle right away during the webinar before I'm done talking. And then you get $10,000 credit back anyway, 10 times your money back to you. This is all yours. The millionaire in the making gets $25,000 of credit. It's the same as the previous. You get all the goodies. So if you want $25,000 of credit, the office is going to sell for $5,000. I'm always going to discount it of $24.99. Half price. But give you 10 times back money to you. And it's a Zelle. I want to make things easy, but I want you to understand how to play. It's like running your life through a corporation or in conjunction. That's up to you. It's step number 16. Bottom line today, pay tax or buy a Lamborghini. This is one of the ones in part of the collection at the time. Today, you get a paycheck. It's taxed. You get the leftover, and you're probably paying the payment, gas, registration, insurance. The word is no. Ultimate thing, you could be driving a company car if you wanted to. That's what you have to learn to do. That's why we go through the workshops all the time to put it here so you know how to play the game. Step number 17. The ultimate goal, I want you to get an SS4 today. All right, I want you to get an SS4 to find out I'm telling you the truth. I'm factually verifiable. All right, SS4 equals 1120 times 4, whatever. Line 10 there says banking and credit purposes. So let's understand the IRS public record. All right, step number 18, I want you to go to irs.gov and download an SS4 form today. I want you to learn how to play the game with me because we don't have to bring the pain home. Quack, 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 unless you want to do that. So remember, the United States of America Incorporated. All right, they set up 50 states, corporations. All states set up the cities, corporations. This is the line of defense right in front of you where you're letting life pass you by. Now you got to tear it apart because that's what I've done since I was a little kid. This is called the line of defense, what I want you to do too. Like I told you, plan the problem, they did. They created a Chapter 9 bankruptcy. Just in case something went wrong with the city, they bankrupt the debts, but they get to stay in business. You bring the pain on, what do? You're stuck. You are we the people. This is your constitutional right. As long as you're trying, you're not dying. If you're not trying, sorry, you might as well give it up. Nixon took the gold standard out. They haven't stopped printing money 24/7 ever since. Hospitals are federally mandated that every woman who delivers a baby within 3 hours or less, she's got to sign the SSN for the baby. Is the baby going to get and walk and get a job? They got to bond the baby and print some more money. If not, the baby can't go in the stroller. Of course, he cannot go home. This is just the truth. Now, you'll see some websites online. You don't have to guarantee. I'm sorry, that's just BS. If you want cash credit per division, lines of credit, you're going to have to be the CFO. Flat out. 8 supply cards, vendor cards, marketing cards, lease cards, gas cards too. You got to let me make you the CFO you need to be with my history and dashboard too. If you look on out there on those websites, they're talking about trade line. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that's crap. Look up the Fair Lending Act before you do a trade line. I don't want to visit you in prison. See, remember, corporate credit, write-off, interest rate, line of credit, financing, grow the business, division screws up, get rid of that too. You don't bring the pain home because you never had to. Bottom line is simple. I'm going to make you the qualified CFO you need to be. Winning that battle. Ultimate goal. Giving you the tools you've been missing since day one. Now it's like the house. What did you do when you bought your house? Because I said house, car, bank account. I said it all. All right, what did you do? Do you use Ray's rules? Escrow, close, homestead, put it in a trust? Oh, you didn't do that. So if they sue you, they take it away. Oh, and if you don't put it basically when you die, because we're all going to die, you're going to get basically, you're probably just stuck in probate. So your family got diddly squat because you're not paying attention today. When you fix up a property, don't you hire a contractor? Don't they hire the subcontractor that stand outside Home Depot? Good workers? But what if they slip and fall and cut corners too? You see, I told you to plan the problem. Remember that? You could have took those pieces of property and quickly did it to a division if you wanted to. You can do assignment of equity. Isn't the goal to make sure something goes wrong at the end of the day, they get diddly squat? That's the goal. Now, I like irrevocable trust, but you do what you want. You're a grown-up. That's step number 19. Bottom line is, everyone that I meet always say, I don't want to really pay too much tax, right? I believe they're playing peekaboo with the IRS making a mess. IRS is simple. Corporations don't pay tax so they make a profit. You see that all the time. Instead of complaining, learn how to play. If you screwed up a little bit, that's okay. Go to irs.gov. Download a form called 656 433 A and B. Remember, you get all that free money they're passing out today, and you get your butt back in the system today too. This is step number 20. And this is just an introductory overview for you. Wait till we get to the workshops too. Now, if you're fixing up a property, do it my way. I never put my money in. I'm the OPM. I want to set up divisions, save up to 70%. I don't want to pay a bill for 30 to 60, 90 days anyway. Escrow closes. I got the leftover now. They paid off the debt. Now, let's say I got up to $200,000. Unfortunately, most men get money and they kind of waste it away. What we're going to do is raise rules and leverage the money. We're going to make sure we understand borrowed money is not taxable. We're going to set up the line of defense. See it, believe it, go get it. Remember, this is step number 21 called blackjack. So, the ultimate goal is to repackage every one of you. Borrowed money is not what? Taxable, and you have the ability to win that battle too. But it's like anything else. Before I was in that coma, this was my office. I was proud of myself. I was on top of the world helping millions of people every day. Simple. It's only 22,000 square foot building in Irvine Spectrum, by the way. The bank would be there almost every day. Going, Banks love to kiss your assets when you got money. When you don't have a pot to, you know what? They don't know your name. Got to give you the steps you're missing. You see, understand, the banks borrow up to times 10 from the feds. Loan back 5 to you. If you would have took that money from the escrow, leverage it the way I would tell you to, raise rules, that would have turned into $3 million of borrowed money. I would have told you $2 million to go buy McDonald's today. Borrow money's not what? Taxable under the corporation? You too, but I don't want to create debt to a person. It's always the corporation or divisions. Now, at the workshop, I want to teach you your corporation should be a management company. Because I want your divisions to be the line of defense. And if something goes wrong, the divisions become the ducks. Hey, if rich and famous people can do this, banks can do this, grocery stores, cities can do this, so can you. Can you write down the 3-step, please? Disconnect, isolate, incorporate. If I can't, if I had to bankrupt the division, I can't save it. I'm going to. But here's the gift. I'm not going to bring the pain home because I'm keeping all the good pieces too. Your goal is simple. what I set up in 86. Divisions and tax IDs. Eventually, after the million, we turn them into subsidiaries. That's step 22. So the bottom line today, ask yourself a question when you look in the mirror. Please, ask yourself, what are you willing to lose? Did you bring the pain home? Corporation that can pierce the veil. Divisions are the line of defense, and they're cheap. I want world peace. I want nothing to go wrong. But if anything goes wrong, it's a division. Because I can get another one and another one and another one too. When we play a game, any game like chess, we're going to lose a piece or two, but winners always get checkmate. That's your ultimate goal. But again today, step number 23. You see, I put it in steps so you don't mess it up. Like one of my favorite Lamborghinis, part of the collection, the LP640. I got the keys, boom, 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 boom. So your choice is simple. It's called reach in the dream. It's called think and be the impossible. Ultimate goal, raise rules. I make millionaires. Would you like to be next? Please let me know. Ultimate goal, 14th Amendment, turn corporations into people. United States of America Incorporated, 50 states corporations. There are cities or corporations too. Right in front of you, that's the line of defense. But you're past due and set up your line of defense, and you brought the pain home, and that's not acceptable. But again, it's a choice. You have the right to be winning the battle as well too. So today, understand, never use joint credit. Buy a house, escrow, close, homestead, put it in a trust, raise rules. Corporation, always have up to $1 million of credit. We got to get our divisions for one for every piece of property, every franchise, every current business. If we set up the line of defense, all right, when you use raise rules, we don't have to bring the pain home ever. But again, that's your choice. That's step number 24. So, last and final chance to play with me and get discounts today. But I'm going to give you the office phone number. You can call them too. The difference is there are different things that they offer. So they'll package whatever they think is good for you. If you Zelle for bonuses, what I do is I block, I rebuild and tear apart your credit. I guarantee the $750. It's pretty simple. Instead of the $998, I give you half price. All right, you go to the class on Saturday if you want to. All right, I guarantee you a $1,000 card back in your pocket. And what I get on the webinar with me is $499. And all you had to do in the first place and guarantee a 750 score is to Zelle it, which every bank and credit union uses today is the safest way to transfer money right away. But again, starter package for a millionaire. The average corporation is $1,800 with all the goodies. I want to give it all to you. Rebuild your credit, rapid rescore, make you the CFO, officers list, tax IDs, set up level 1, 30 days, give you $10,000 of cash credit as we build you. Simple to do. Office sells it for $2. I give it half price of $9.99, so you get 10 times money back to you. No excuses. Millionaire in the making, you get $25,000 of cash credit. The same as the previous, you get all the goodies. Ultimate job is simple. They charge $5,000. Half price is $24.99. It's a Zelle. That's all you got to do. Now, all I know today is we have to stay safe and strong. We got to do our best while God does the rest. Amen to that too. So bottom line today is getting to the next level. I want you to spend the whole day with me tomorrow. But the bottom line is that's number 25 is a Zelle now. If you want to call the office, 800-510-3338. See what they're going to offer you too. So that's 800-510-3338. The ultimate goal is to help everybody get past go, hold their hand, and get them through this. Let's do our best all day and let God do the rest. And remember, God loves us all.